So I'm going to just do a very quick live. I want to apologize to you guys for yesterday. I didn't come on. My energy crashed. It happens. It happens. And I listened. I had to do nothing. And so I did nothing. And I sometimes feel guilty about this, but you know. All right, so I'm going to do the Life Path Clinic at 3 o'clock today. I believe I'll do another one at around, for the European crowd, I will do it, and it'll be PayPal. I'll give you my PayPal address, and I'll explain what to do. I'm going to pull a couple oracle cards from Mystical Shaman Oracle. Before there was a time, before there was language, there were the sacred symbols. What a great line. What a great line. I'm also going to talk to you about twin flames. And you can be in union and still be in a runner-chaser dynamic. And you might think to me, well, how could that happen? How can you be in a, excuse me, chaser, runner-chaser dynamic if we're together? Because one or both of you are afraid of being fucked over. When you are in the physical union, it is important that you take it seriously as an opportunity of education. This is not kumbaya. We made it. It's okay. There's some things that need to be spoken out. Do not bite your tongue. If there was some fuckery done by your masculine twin or feminine twin, do not bite your tongue. This is the time for the recapitulation. And I mean, fuckery doesn't have to be you. Might be nothing to do with you, but stuff they did that they should not have done to others. You see, it matters what your twin does to others as well as you. I'm going to give you an example. There's my friend who's incredibly powerful, beautiful, beautiful, very Kuan Yin energy, gorgeous, soft spirit, powerful though. She said to me that her twin said, "It's not my responsibility on how I make you feel." Bullshit. I hate some of this spiritual mumbo jumbo bullshit. Let me tell you something. I'm at a restaurant and my guest is making the waitress feel like shit by treating her like shit. That person, that guest, man or woman, is responsible for making them feel like shit. I'm sorry. Yes, we are responsible on how we make other people feel. I am so sick of these mamby-pamby, high spiritual cotton candy land, Barbie and Ken stories that has been thrust upon us not to be responsible for how we make others feel. We are responsible for how we feel and responsible for how we make others feel. It's important. If a child is being bullied by other children, those children are responsible for being bullies and for making that child who is being bullied, who's being victimized, feel like they don't matter and they shouldn't live on this planet anymore. Yes, they're responsible. So when somebody says to you, "Oh, well, I'm not responsible with how I make you feel," call it bullshit. Bullshit. And use the analogies I just used. Use them. What I find is that many of us, especially women in the feminine sex, we, and when I mean feminine in all, you know, there's a innate softness in us, okay? And when a man is masculine, steps on our toes like that, we go deer in the headlights. We like freeze. And so these conversations you practice with your girlfriends. In other words, this is what I told my friend, my girlfriend. I said to her, "Listen, he says that again. Pull out the stops, girl. No, you're responsible. You're making me feel unsafe. You're making me feel..." And you might say, "Well, that's not okay because you're saying you." No, the mirror exercise that is being used needs to be used for certain purposes. But that does not discount the responsibility of someone else not being kind to you, being manipulating to you. The question is, why are you accepting it? That's the question. But there are situations where people have no choice, like the waitress in the restaurant being treated like shit by the patron, or the child being bullied by bullies. And bullies come in all sizes. Adults can be bullies with children. I've seen it in action. So my point is, these people are clearly responsible. Your job is to understand, why am I fucking sitting here taking this shit? Why am I a waitress? Not to blame waitresses, because a lot of waitresses go through a lot of shit. From women who are jealous because they're pretty, to men who think it's okay to, get a feel, okay? Or whatever, or make some very outrageous comments to them. All they're doing is, look, give me a tip and leave me the hell alone. I just want to bring your meal. So these people are responsible for their behaviors to make other people feel trapped. Because a waitress, a child being bullied, there's other examples, I guess. I can't think of any right now, except for those two that are really so prominent, I have to bring it up. But yeah, we are responsible for how we make you. If my son comes to me and says, you make me feel like I can't talk to you, it's my responsibility to find out what I can do. Not his, mine, to find out, why does my son feel like this? Why have I made him feel this way? That's called compassion. That's called empathy. That's called fucking doing your inner spiritual work. Gaslighting and deflecting is saying, I'm not responsible for how I make you feel. Call it bullshit, because it is. It's a entitled spiritual. It's in our spiritual community, this kind of concept, which there's a lot of things in the spiritual community. Don't think the spiritual community is that much above religious orders. Okay, there's a lot of toxicity in it. There's a lot of entitlement in it. I come from royal bloodlines. Bloodlines, you're a spirit. How does blood run in your veins if you're not in the body? Yeah. Walk me through this concept of you're a royal bloodline as a spirit soul. But yeah, please talk to me like I'm 12. I want to really understand how you're coming up with this. The chosen one, another problematic phrase. You are the chosen one. It's great because you get to, get fed. You're being patted on the head and given candies. But you're not chosen. You're more badass than that. You fucking volunteered. When we were asked to come here during the ascension period, many souls step back and go, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. I guess I'm not coming in. I'd rather wait till it's 5D. And many of us stepped forward and said, I'll do it. All of us are volunteers. That's way more badass than being a chosen. You're a chosen one. You're the anointed one. That word is so problematic, and look at what it's brought us to. So I guess I'm ranting and raving this morning. But you're not here to second guess certain things that are put upon your lap as if you're responsible for your feelings. If somebody hurts your feelings, if your mother, father, brother, sister have hurt your feelings, you've shared something that was very, very important to you. Maybe it was a success, maybe it was a trauma, past trauma, and they did not want to discuss it, or it made them feel uncomfortable, so they deflected it back on you. Well, that's the past. That's in the past. Yeah, but it still haunts me. It still hurts me. Well, you're gonna have to manage your feelings. Yeah, that's cruel. That's actually cruel. That's actually cruel. You don't do that to someone who's vulnerable to that level. You just don't. You never know how far it can harm them, and to what lengths it can harm them. So I'm going to do at 3 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time. I will come on. I will do the numerology clinic, the Life Path Clinic, which is a lot of fun. And I take payment through Venmo and Cash App, just to let you know, because I had someone in England contact me saying, when are you going to do it? So yeah, I'm going to do my lives until Sunday, and we'll be doing that, and probably do it twice a day to make sure I capture the European crowd, the crowd in Australia. But in the interim, while we're here, I want to go ahead and do an oracle reading, okay? And the oracle reading, hey Letty, it's good to see you. The way this works is I need you guys to be involved. So I'm going to shuffle the cards, give your angels, guides, and allies permission to guide you in the session, and then pick from the top, bottom, or middle. And whoever answers, if I see if I see people going more for the top or middle or bottom, I'll pick from that. So when you're ready, just ask the question, what is the collective message for you guys this morning? And pick from the top, bottom, or middle. Hey, Space Case, it's been a while since I've seen you. So when you're ready, top, bottom, or middle. Okay, I'll stop, middle. Okay, I'm going to go with middle. Middle, perfect. I'm going with middle. The hummingbird, and it's card number 26, which is very interesting because it's 8 And on April 8th, there is a solar eclipse. It's pretty intense. I would like you to do some research as to what's going on with certain things on the planet. Look up red heifer. Red heifer. Look that up. I won't say more about it because it's pretty intense. And I am actually, and I'm sorry, many of you I will not invite, only because it's a very intense day. And I'm inviting certain high priestesses. One of them, I'm hoping she'll say yes, was one of the founders of Atlantis. And multiple, actually, pretty much everyone I'm gathering are, unfortunately, I've got no men that are stepping up, but I've got a lot of beautiful high priestesses stepping up to do a guided intention. I wouldn't say meditation, intention to work on the energies to counteract what's about to happen on April 8th. Now, let me tell you how important this is. So it's an eclipse, solar flares eclipse. And when you add the numbers, let's do the numbers together. 4 plus 8 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 comes out to 20. And 20 in tarot is the judgment. In Kabbalah numerology, it's the awakening. Judgment, awakening, okay? In tarot, 20, and then I pulled out the card. I'm going to read to you, Hummingbird. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because it gave me 26. 26 in Kabbalah numerology is partnerships. It's 8. It's heavy with karma. It's very heavy and dense with karma. But April, and because it came off the 8, and I've been trying to avoid this conversation, honestly, but apparently I'm being asked to do this, is because the 26th is 8. April 8th is a massive, massive day. You might want to take the day off. That's how massive it is. And judgment, so again, 4 plus 8 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. And there is a shift happening that you guys need to be aware of. And you may want to go into meditation yourselves privately. If you really, really want to join my group, it's a very tiny group. I'm not inviting a lot of people because I want it to be powerful and focused. And some of us may have to wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to attend. So I'm only asking certain people. But if you want to join, right? You guys know me. You who know me, go ahead and hit me up on a text. All right, let me read to you Hummingbird. The essence. Despite being so little, hummingbirds are great journeyers, migrating between North, Central, or South America to feed from the summer nectar. This gentle creature can be fiercely territorial to protect its home. Hummingbird teaches us to be gentle to ourselves and protect our personal space. Hummingbirds invite you to embark on your own epic quest, bypass the dung pile of old pain and hurts, head for the flowers, and learn to trust the calling you hear ever so softly. The invitation. The buzzing you feel is the sound of your hummingbird wings, preparing you to say yes to a new adventure. This is not the time to linger on what has gone wrong, but to trust in the rightness of the moment and take bold action. Trust that success is assured, even if you must face tests and challenges to reach your destination. Know that all will be well because the all is in the small. The medicine. The mighty being comes to teach you stillness and motion, and to trust your inner knowing that the sweetest nectar is assured. Failing to act when the moment is right can spoil your journey. If you feel your safety, comfort, or day-to-day survival are more important than saying yes to the invitation to explore the unknown, you will have to work much more harder to achieve what is being offered to you freely now. Still your mind, even in the midst of your very hectic schedule, and heed the gentle voice that calls you to test new wings. Wow. We're being asked on April 8th to make a choice. We can be silent and do nothing, or we can rise in the early hours, whatever timeline it is for you, and come to a place to meditate the new earth. This is intense. And what I'd like you to do is look up the red heifer. And April 8th, 2024. I'm not one to call things intensely. I'm very, as you know, which sounds kind of funny with how tough I can be sometimes, but I'm very positive. I don't believe in the end of nothing. I believe in the beginning. It's fun. It's funny too, because when I was younger, in my 30s, I remember I hear people saying, "Oh, you know, the end of the world is in," all that bullshit. And I'd say, "No, it's the end of the world as you know it." I've been saying that for like fucking 30 years. The end of the world as you know it, and thank God for that. So we're going through this amazing transition. We are birthing. We are in the birthing canal. We are feeling the labor pains, and we are being asked to push and to take great gulps of oxygen and to marshal our power to push one last time the this beautiful energy. I had a friend, I did my first time I ever did, well, my first and last time, I'll do it again, but suffice it to say, I did bufo, which is DMT. It's frog medicine. It's from the dust, the venom of the frog. It's collected, and it looks like gold. It looks like rose gold. And anyway, so, and her journey was giving birth to the world. I kid you not. She was literally in labor giving birth to a new earth. That was back in 2018. And I never forgot it. Because as she was doing it, she had the face of Kali. Now, if you know what Kali is, it's a goddess of creation and destruction. Her tongue is out, impudent tongue. Because the tongue is a voracious organ. It gossips. It spews hate. And also, it is a golden organ of truth, if used correctly. When you use your tongue, and if your tongue is being misused by your ego, then that's why mantra is to sweeten the palate. That's why you chant a mantra, like Om Namah Shivaya. I keep saying that one because that's like easy. Your 3-year-old can learn that one. Om Namah Shivaya, again and again, until you resettle your mind into a plate of quietness so that you can actually get downloads. You know, righteous, good, clean, clear downloads from your spirit team, from source. And that's what you need to understand, is that when your mind is in a place of fear, and again, here we go again. They keep giving me that image of the monk. Again, no gender specific, monk none, but there's a Buddhist energy to it. Sitting, facing, so their back is to me, facing a tsunami wave, like 200-300 foot wave, and not moving, in meditation, eyes closed. And because they surrender to that moment, which would have people scattering and screaming and running, because they surrender to that moment, every time I see the explosion of the waves exploding and transforming into golden butterflies, golden, like millions of golden butterflies. Every time. All I'm being shown is that I've been shown this for like, I don't know, 15 years. And it is not a haunting so much as it's an image that regrounds me to truth. And again, it takes you back to death being your advisor. Carlos Castaneda, make death your advisor. That's who first wrote that line in the 1960s, Carlos Castaneda. Make death your advisor. What does that mean? If this is your last day on earth, are you doing what you're supposed to do? Have you done your very best today? Are we in that frame of consciousness in our mundane day-to-day? Fuck no, but of course not. Who in the hell wants to do the laundry, for example? But I think of Thich Nhat Hanh, who talks about the magic in the mundane, right? And so if you do your laundry, and maybe you have you're lucky enough to have a line outside, you know, where you dry your laundry by the sun and the wind. There could be something beautiful in that moment. You know, the way I remember I used to, because that's a French thing, by the way, ironing your sheets. I kid you not. Something very Zen-like. So even the mundane can turn into something, like watching a cup of tea and the sun pouring through the window and watching the sun glimmer across the porcelain of your cup, and it's see-through and you can see the liquid. And for a moment you're mesmerized. It's a form of meditation of the mundane. And yet the mundane becomes magical. It's one of the hallmarks of the tea ceremony in Japan. It's not the tea that you want. It's the ceremony. It's the journey. It's not the gulping of the tea. It's the whole move of making that, tea. Often people forget moments like that where children do not. This is why John Lennon said, if you want to know about life, ask a 5-year-old. I think it was him. If not, well, c'est la vie. I misquoted. But the essence of it is good. I think the way you reconnect with your child is your child. And the minute you start really remembering the magic that you were as a little girl, a little boy, and you really honor it and remember it again and again every day, try to do it every day, at least try to do it at least 3-4 times a week where you connect with your inner kid. It's going to bring you back to this incredible trust that children are born with when they come here, because they just they are closer to God, source, whatever you want to call it, the universe, to this unconditional divine love than we are. And they remember and they trust the universe. Implicit trust. A fearful 2-year-old is an anomaly. And so when a child that young is afraid, or 3 or 4, it's because of a trauma from the giddy up from day one. Trauma from the parents. I'm sorry, that's the truth. Most kids are fearless. Have you ever seen these little kids that ski down the hills? Like they're like, I don't know, they're like little plugs. They're adorable. They're like, I don't know, 2 feet high, and they're barreling down hills, skiing, like fucking, like something's after them, and yet they're giggling like mad. Fearless. Unaware they could hit a tree. It's not even a concern. That's what I mean by that. We all need to go back to our little kid, our genuine little child. Many of us, unfortunately, has suffered trauma. And though we suffered trauma in our early years, formative years, like before we hit 5, we still managed to keep that beautiful magic until the world came with its sense of what is real and logical. Reality created by an infrastructure that is not kind to its people. And yet we trust that above our own inner child. That's insane shit to me. That's like fucking insane. So I would like to invite you to journal, to channel your inner child, to do some automatic writing. Maybe this morning or tonight. But by Sunday, you should have at least 3 or 4 pages of your inner little girl, little boy who has spoken to you through automatic writing. You're channeling yourself. You're channeling your highest, purest self when you first took on this incarnation. And that magic that you had. I think you should do it. I think it will give you a lot of sense of direction. And yeah, it's going to be incredible. So let's see here. I love to watch the process of making tea. It's so enjoyable. Hello, loves. I apologize for the absence. Oh, Krista. Oh, my God. Is that you? Hang on. Let me see. Is that you? Christopher? Because I see a change, but not really. Because I tried to call you many, many times. Wait a minute. Because there was somebody, all good vets. Tell me if that's you, because we've been concerned, very, very concerned. So I hope it's you, because you've got a lot of work to do. Because if it's you, you read the books, and it's time for you to come back online and do your work. On the side note, please call your congressman. They're trying to pull games again with TikTok. Please do all you can to call your congressman. Okay, please do it. All of you, just take the time, find your congressman, and barrel them out. Because honestly, the TikTok ban could be like the Boston Tea Party. It could really piss people off. Just, I'm being real. Sometimes it's a straw that breaks the camel's back. It actually always is. And I'm just on the side note, and I go on different spikes of energy here. Don't forget, it was women. I don't know if you guys know that. It was women that started the French Revolution. Women, mothers who were tired of seeing their fucking children unalivened by famine. Bloody hell, that word. I can't stand it. But at the end of the day, please do your due diligence. Many of you are incredibly bright, incredibly powerful. And I'm trying to remember who was talking about leadership. Oh, yeah. I was listening to a podcast of my brother. And my brother, I, who did some things that I did not want to forgive, I've forgiven. And he's a brilliant man. But my heart could not block the love that I have for his soul. Just like your heart can't block the love you have for your twin, no matter what fuckery they bring to your table. Forgiveness is the greatest gift you give yourself. Anyway, so I was listening to his podcast. He's got a couple books out, blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about leadership. And he was saying something very brilliant. That's actually why I call him, because it was so bloody brilliant. He said that the ones that are capable of becoming leaders don't step up because of whatever they think a leader should be. Ready, ducks in a row, all that bullshit. And the MFers that have massive ego and absolutely no talent become the leaders. And they have no business they have no leadership skills. None. And a leadership skill is the ability to marshal people who will follow you for free. You get me? For free. And that's something that clearly we don't have. Now, one of the reasons why Hannibal Barca, who was a famous Carthaginian general, was loved, believe it or not. He was hated by the Punician senators, but loved. He's the guy who went up the Pyrenees with his elephants. I don't know if you know that story. He's the one who said, if we cannot make one, if there's no way we will make one. Meaning, they were saying to him, General, how the fuck are we getting these elephants up the Pyrenees in France? He was like, we'll make one. And they did. They created a pass for the elephants. Anyway, regressing. Hannibal would sleep with his men. You would never know he was a general because he would sleep with his men on the ground with his men. He was one of them. He ate what they ate. If it was uncomfortable, he was uncomfortable with them. That kind of leadership is real leadership. Alexander the Great knew how to lead because he would always be in the forefront of battles. He was not in the back. He was not on a hill checking shit out. He was in battle, kind of like William Wallace in Braveheart. If you've ever seen the movie, William Wallace was the first one out of the gates. Okay, so that kind of leadership is what we need. We need people who don't want to be leaders to become leaders. Because look at the shit show that's happened because we've all sat on our hands and said, yeah, I'm not ready. And we need more women, no offense to the men, we need more women to step up to be the kind of bright stars. Because Roe versus you know what should have never happened. It should have never been it should have never been a dialogue. It should have never been on the table to vote out. Okay, it should have never happened. Now you may ask me, but Tony, you're a spiritualist. Why are you talking about politics? Because I've noticed that politics are intertwined with our spiritual values if they infringe upon our spiritual values. What are our spiritual values? Kindness, generosity, balance of wealth. Those are my spiritual values. I don't know what yours are, but human rights. I'm a human rights activist who happens to be a spiritualist, who happens to be a psychic, who happens to be a hypnotherapist, who happens to be. But the true self is to be a human rights activist, an activist for the environment, an activist for our planet. And I'm constantly reminding my starseed sisters and brothers that the last thing you want to say is, I'll never come back to this planet. I hate being here. The first thing you got to say is, I love being here. It's the infrastructure that sucks. The planet's fantastic. And if you were a hypnotherapist like I am, and you did all kinds of hypnotherapy with different starseeds, and you saw how homogeneous some of these planets are with its different sentient beings, fucking boring. Like blue planets, it's all fucking blue. I'm not joking. But different degrees of blue. One planet, it was all ice, and they lived in caves, in the bowels of caves. There was no vegetation. There were these strange creatures that they hunted, okay, to eat. So they were a carnivore people, or sentient beings. I'm not going to call them people. And that was it. That was fucking it. Now, if you look at the landscape of this beautiful Earth and all of its incredible diversity, including its own people, us as humans, and the mixtures that create even more diversity. It's extraordinary. Why wouldn't we want to come back under a beautiful 5D structure, a vibration and a frequency that is more in line, and everyone had. There was no lack. Everyone had. And if somebody needed something, it was given to them. No questions, just done. And that's what we miss. That's part of what we miss. We miss this freedom. That's why we all love Avatar, the movies, because it gives us a sense of being home again. Frankly, whenever I watch Avatar, I always go, I fast forward through the fucking violence. Honestly, many of us would love to see things like Lord of the Rings with the elephant people, but without the fucking wars. Like, just make me a movie with just all this beautiful stuff, and I'll be good. Oh, I love my brother. I'm worried about his health right now, waiting for him to visit his doctor. I'm sorry about that. Righty, yes. Understanding compassion for your brother and sisters. Exactly. So, at the end of the day, forgiveness is something, you can be angry with someone and they can really do some massive fuckery. There's no doubt, okay? My line stops when there's abuse of children. That's when, it's for me, it's unforgivable. Children abuse of any kind, yeah, we're done in this incarnation. Anything else that is on that realm, it's other things, yeah, forgiveness is the key to your joy. I'm going to give you another oracle card. I'm getting asked to do that, so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to reshuffle, and we're going to go again, and I need you guys to concentrate, and then pick from the top, bottom, or middle, top, bottom, or middle, and let me know when you're ready. And when you're ready. Okay, top, bottom, or middle? Top. Okay, beautiful. Top. Okay, you got it. If we get the same card, I'll die. Oh, hello. This one's called Thunder. And Thunder is 56. And 56 is 11. It's interesting, too, because in Kabbalah numerology, 56, 11, 11 is the muzzle line, muzzled. So here comes Thunder. So let's look at Thunder. Bear with me. Let me read it. And then I'm going to go because I need to get ready. But tonight, well, not tonight, at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is 6 o'clock Eastern, I will do the life path reading. Please share that information with those. It's on my TikTok profile page. Just check out the announcement. And I apologize for not doing it last night. I was just really gone. I was exhausted. Okay, Thunder, the essence. Legend speaks of great thunder beings who live in the sky and call for your attention when great occurrences are meant to happen in the world. Oh shit, okay. Wow. Hang on. Let me repeat that, please. Legends speak of great thunder beings who live in the sky and call for your attention when great occurrences are meant to happen in the world. They warn when tension in a situation are called upon to be released. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, please look up April 8th and the eclipse and the red heifer and what that means, please. Please pay attention because this is not a joke. All right, and it's the muzzle line, remember. Their presence in your reading reminds you of the dramatic moments in life that change everything, both awesome and frightening. When thunder arrives, it is also a wake-up call, one that you will not soon forget. Okay, the invitation. When thunder comes into your reading, it refers to a big dramatic change that feels like a herd of wild bison on the run. You feel it right through your bones, and you know that you are powerless to influence whatever events have been set in motion. This is a time to be prepared for anything. Your life is an adventure, and wonderful opportunities are arriving now. The trick is to learn to run with them. Qualities that you'll need now more than ever are flexibility, dexterity, and a willingness to experience it all without dictating from where or in what form opportunities will come. Your destiny is arriving. Be ready. The medicine. Do you feel like unnecessary drama is waylaying your life? Could you be exhausted from listening to others tell you their never-ending victim story? Or could you be telling yourself a version of the same? It's time for an about face. You're being warned that to continue on this path will cause you to regret your choices, even if they appear benign or familiar. It's time to say no to drama, both yours and others. Focus on solutions rather than problems. You are worthy of a drama-free life. So this would be Om Shanti Shanti, the mantra of peace. Om Shanti Shanti. To destroy blocks is Om Namah Shivaya or Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, which is destroying blocks. Brothers and sisters, you guys need altars. If you don't have an altar with certain things that bring you back to your spiritual truth, then you need one. You need one immediately. You need to say, you can go to a thrift shop. You need a vase of water where, I don't care if the vase is turquoise or pink. I don't give a shit. As long as you can see the water, as long as it's see-through. So you need a vase. You need to put fresh flowers. You need to put fruit, an orange, an apple, whatever, and then switch it out every 2 days. Eat the fruit, put a new one on. I have Krishna and Radha, the ultimate twin ray, violet twin ray couple. I also have Yeshua. I'm looking for a good Mary Magdalena. I also have Lakshmi on my altar. I have a picture of me as a little girl. I have a picture of my son as a baby. What else do I have? Pine cones, resin from trees, a bell, a chime to wake up the altar. Right now there's a drum, a shaman drum behind it that frames it with a lion. If I were you, I would do an altar. My first altar that I did, it was just a lot of little, I would go to thrift stores. Like I had an angel vase where I put my peacock feathers, and that was in the back. I have your art on my altar. I need more, honestly. Oh, that's so cool. I'd love to see a picture of your altar, actually. That would be brilliant. Wow. On my altar, for a while, and I'm going to do it again now that I'm moving to New York. I had, hang on for a quick second. I had one altar in my bedroom, 2 altars in this healing room that I had. Yeah, I had a friendship altar, a love altar, an abundance altar. And there's also a spiritual altar you can create. So at some point, when I get settled, I'll start doing certain things. Like I might do like Zoom classes where we talk about how to create altars and the power of altars and how they reframe your day-to-day life. And I had like 3-4 altars going on at once, and it was no bother. It was no bother. None. I would pick wild flowers. I would change my flowers. I made sure that the flowers never died on the altar. They never, faded. What else? Fruits and flowers on the altar. And I would have incense burning sometimes, a candle burning sometimes, always white or pink candles, always. Never weird, dark colors, never. No, I'm not a fan of green candles for money because money isn't green in other countries. That's why I don't understand that. You're better off with gold candles, actually. Green candles, that means nothing to me. Gold is what you want. You want a gold candle if you want to, work with Lakshmi. So with Lakshmi, I have a golden violin. It's kind of an homage to Saraswati, the goddess of poetry and music. And I have, I have gold. I'll go to Home Goods or TJ Maxx, and sometimes they have gold candles. Fucking grab them because they're not easy to find. And, and then you chant. You sit in your meditation and chant. Many of these things I haven't been able to really, really do to the way I want to do them because I don't live in the way I want, but I'm about to in the farm. So once I'm settled to some level of comfort, I'll start offering not seminars, but like little clinics or little get-togethers where it'll be very inexpensive, and you guys can join my Zooms and do some altars. Like remote. We can just remotely, and I can guide you and tell you the what to do with these altars, because altars, sometimes I see altars and they're missing the water aspect. Water should always be on your altar in some capacity, and a plant, something living and breathing, should also, in other words, living and breathing, a plant, a flower. For a while, I did use orchids. I go to Trader Joe's and buy orchids and put that as the background, and that worked very beautifully. But I want wildflowers. I want something wild that I've picked from the land, that's much more in line with my own personal philosophy. But if you live in an apartment and it's not possible, then orchids are a good way to have your flower aspect there. So you're not spending all this money. I also love sunflowers. So I would also buy sunflowers, and put them in the on the altar. Let me see here. I have gold too and citrine in my abundance candle. Beautiful. Very good. Tony, you got to teach classes. I would take them all. Oh, you're so sweet. I'll text you. Yeah, please text me a picture. I'd love to see that. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna start offering classes because I really feel like it helps. Not to mention, a great part about doing that is that you guys all tend to hopefully meet each other and become friends. You need each other. We need to have more community, even if it's remote. But let me put it this way. It would be good if we could get all our English brothers and sisters and our Irish brothers and sisters and all over Europe and get as many people from other parts of the world, Australia, South Africa, Africa, different, India, whatever, where you guys literally would have, you guys could actually visit each other and swap each other's houses and apartments. And this is what they used to do in the 40s and 50s after the war. People used to be very communal. And if I'm going to Paris, great, take my apartment. Oh, you live in South Africa? Great, I'll be in, or Kenya or India. Well, yeah, take my apartment for a month. We'll trade. And people used to do that a lot. There was no money involved. It was just an honor system based on friendships and long conversations of phone calls and letters. And we need to create that again. It's like we've been really trained not to do that. What I have to say to you about Europe is that kind of community. That's why you're hearing a lot of expat Americans in Europe going, holy fuck, man, I got friends, I got a life, I got people I can meet for coffee or lunch. When I was in Paris with my aunt, I remember we had this whole, I don't know if you guys know the story of Stone Soup, right? You know the story Stone Soup, I hope you do. But the story of Stone Soup is everyone's broke in the village. They're all poor. There's no fucking... There's no food, supposedly. And so somebody decides to put a stone in the pot, huge pot. And then everyone's invited. Somebody brings carrots, radishes, a chicken, whatever, right? And they're bringing all kinds of rice and all kinds of things. And before they know, they have this abundance of food because everyone came together. So anyway, we're in Paris. My aunt, she's in her 30s. I'm like a teenager. And they're all broke. They're all artists. They're all students. They're all broke. So she brought the wine. Somebody brought the baguette. Another one brought the camembert. Another brought... Before, we had a fucking feast. And we all ate. And it was amazing. It was fantastic. It wasn't... You might say, well, it was a potluck. No, it wasn't a potluck in that way because everyone brought ingredients and everyone was in the kitchen cooking. And tried to figure out, okay, we got all this. What are we going to do? And thinking on their feet to create a meal. Well, we have a chicken. Okay, well, what do you want to do? A soup with it? You want to roast it? What do you want to do with it? I don't know. Another time I remember my aunt, there's a lot of, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the 80s and 90s, you could go to any forest in France and pick mushrooms and then take them to the pharmacy to make sure they were edible. Well, one day we missed the train to go back to Paris to get to the pharmacy. The pharmacy was closed. And my aunt, she said, look, I know they're good. And we were like, I don't know. It's like she cooked them. And it was in the middle of the table. She'd cook all the mushrooms we'd gather. And she said, I'm telling you, they're all good. I recognize them. And we were all looking at her and she went, look, I'll eat it first. And she ate it first and we waited and then we all dug in. It was like, once we realized it was okay. But we need those kinds of experiences as a people. We deserve it. We deserve to know each other, to visit each other, to have, to have 2 or 3 friends when we go to a country and go, well, I'm gonna be in Scotland. I'm gonna be in England. So I'm gonna go to Scotland. I have a friend there. You're on the train visiting all your friends, staying there 2-3 days, and coming back to your home enriched with these experiences. How many of you have experienced that? And if you haven't, then we need to cultivate that. And I think if I did classes, we're more likely going to create that, because that's really what I want for you all. You know? So, yes, I will upload this on YouTube. I will. So, Tony, when I get a chance, I have so much to tell you. Let me know when I can contact me now. All good? Like immediately. Like contact me. I hope you have my number still. Bloody hell. Rachel, thank you for that. I'm going to check out your images. I'm excited to see them. So, yeah. So, I want you to. So I'll be back. I'll do the live at 3 Pacific Standard Time. We'll do the numerology clinic. Last time we did Marie Antoinette, which blew my mind. We did Nicholas Tesla last time. So if you want to listen to that one, I've uploaded them. All the life path clinics that I'm going to do, you know, these sessions, will be uploaded, all of them. So if you guys decide to do your own numerology with me, it's $15. If you add your twin flame, it's another $4, so it's $19. It's about a 15-minute session live, and then you can actually, it's recorded, of course, you know, on a live, and I upload it, and you guys can actually screen record your own portion, which is very good. Your name will not appear. You know how you see yourselves talking to me? Yeah, it doesn't appear on YouTube. When I upload it, you'll hear me speaking your you know, TikTok name, but you will not see your name. You will not see any of the comments. And that's why sometimes I read the comments out loud when I do lives, not for the clinics, of course, but for this. And I feel like when I was younger, this was more common. Yes, but it's not younger. We changed as a society. We went the wrong direction. We went down the wrong path. We need to reclaim that. We need to reclaim all of that. It's ours. It's not okay to work so hard. I saw this young girl crying. She's working 4 fucking jobs. I've never worked 4 jobs in my entire bloody life. I've worked 2, but not 4. That's insanity. 4 jobs? And people have the audacity to call these kids lazy? They're not lazy. They're one step away from living in a tent. They're terrified. So some of these kids don't even have the time. And there was another girl in LA, young girl, again, all under 27. She's making $100,000 a year. I don't know if I've reposted her video. If you guys, hopefully you'll find it. But anyway, and her taxes are going to be like 30,000, not 26,000. What the fuck, 30,000. So she made 100 grand. She's down to 70. She lives in LA. Groceries for one person's about probably $900. One other guy showed groceries for 2 people as being $1,600. In Paris, France, there was a lady who did a video, an American, who bought the same exact ingredient as some New York dude. Same major cities, 2 major cities, Paris and New York City. His bill for like these little items was $54. Her bill for the exact same item was $22. There's something wrong here. And so when we are under the stress of that level, when we feel like we have a sword over our head that could drop at any point, okay? You can't get spiritual, can you, if it's over your crown chakra? If you're constantly looking over your shoulder at your FICO score? How the fuck are you going to meditate and get downloads? How the fuck are you going to be able to do what you need to do as a spiritualist? That's why these things affect us. And when they start clogging up our throat chakra and our root chakra to feel safe, emotionally safe, physically safe, spiritually safe, to thrive, then it becomes our problem. And that's when we have to get politically aware. I hate politics. I actually do. I think it's, you go back and study Rome and the Senate. It's a joke. It's a shit show. But nothing's changed. You know, they used the circus where the gladiator fights, and they would throw bread and gold coins or silver coins or whatever the hell, just to appease the populace. I mean, you know, Aldous Huxley wrote the book, The Brave New World. And read The Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I think it's about 150 pages long. It's a great book. It was written in the 1920s. And I remember him being interviewed in 1959 going, I had no idea. I mean, this is 1959. And he's saying, I had no idea we were getting to this point. What do you mean? My friend, 1959, what are you seeing that people didn't see? So read The Brave New World. That's like a must. If you've never read it in college or high school, you've got to read that book, because that will put you on notice. Peace unto you all. Thank you. It's heartbreaking, especially in the most expensive states like California, and Virginia, Maryland and Virginia. Yeah, it's insane. People can't. The reason why I'm moving to New York, besides that, I like the people. I like New York, the New York vibes of people. They're really irreverent. They don't give a fuck, and they'll tell you the truth to your face. They're pretty amazing, and they're funny as hell. The humor is really funny. Um, but how I would never be able to buy what I bought here. Here, what I bought there, here in California would be something like 2.5 million, 4 million dollars at least. And it was under, I'm being transparent, it was under 200,000. You can't buy that here. I have land. I have my own fucking woods. Not, and I'm not bragging. I worked my ass off. And apparently Spirit wants me to go there because I was toggling between, as you guys know, France, or going back to France, or going up state. And I just surrendered to God, to all. I said, look, somebody make a decision up here, because I really, I don't know what the hell you want me to do at this point. And the decision was made. Thank God. So I'm very grateful. And I want many of you to come and visit me under the at some point when I start opening it up for more healing retreats. It's going to be glamping, my friends. It's not sexy. It's going to be like glamping. So lotus tents, outdoor showers if we're lucky. If not, running into the house to take showers. It's going to be very communal, very hippy dippy. I'm being real. It's not going to be, Beverly Hills massages. Though we could have a masseuse out there doing it out in the field. You never know. But the point is, that's where I'm coming from, And because ultimately, what's more important? It's the communal. It's the aspect of us getting together. It's us eating really pure foods. It's us cooking together. It's us being sisters and brothers, honoring each other, having wonderful conversations, guided meditations and singular meditations, and lessons, classes. So we can talk about X, Y, and Z for 2 days. And 2 days is about what people can take. And if we did a third day, it would probably be to go hiking up in the mountains, and then everyone goes home, that kind of thing, right? So that's what I'm looking to create. And it's going to be interesting, because I used to do retreats on my own, and it looks like I'm being asked to do retreats again on my own. So, but I feel like it'll be a small group of people, like maybe at most 9, 10, even numbers. Most likely 10, and that's about it. Because then I can really cater and focus on people. My 1,800 square foot quarter acre, we paid $298 in Wisconsin, in Maryland. It's easily $500. It's wild. Yes, it's crazy. Community is so much better than glamorous accommodations for me. Well, I appreciate that, because when I did ayahuasca, I was in a round house. It was a round house. We all slept in a circle together. And the first session I did, the first year, was with women. And I loved it. High priestesses, all of them, just magical. From the youngest was 19. The oldest was, I think I was the oldest, actually, come to think of it. I believe. Or there are a couple women my age. My shaman was like 2 years younger than me. And it was awesome. And then the second year, I did it co-ed, purposely, because I wanted to experience with the masculine, the sacred divine masculines. With all these men were sacred divine masculines. They were amazing men. Amazing. I remember admitting to something that was very, very intense, and talking about it. And this young man, probably in his 20s, late 20s, came over and just held me in his arms. It was like a big brother for a minute. It was like my son. It was like a big brother. I have kept in touch with him for years. That hug changed my life. I feel like crying. And it wasn't because it was because he understood what I had shared. And to be honest, there were people that were still kind of judging, which I didn't give a fuck at that point, because I stopped giving a fuck a long time ago. But the fact is that he came and held me in his arm for 5-10 minutes, rocking me as I cried. So these moments of community, you don't need to do medicines. I'm hoping to attract at least one good sound healer, because that's going to be key also. But yeah, we need that. We need that more and more and more. And we need to up and up and up and up the frequency, the energy, and all that. We need to up it. We need to up the dial. We need to just strobe like the fuck out of our lights. right now. All of us need to do it, because what's happening right now is it's not acceptable. It's not in our energy, and it's not something we can ignore. We can't ignore it. The toxic aspect of spiritual leaders and content creators who are saying, no, just ignore it. Just, you got to stay in your high vibration. Yeah, kumbaya. Where the fuck are you? Do you even want to be like that kind of person? It's the kind of person I'll never forget. When I lived in New York City, I was going to high school there, and I don't know if you guys know, I was born and raised in Paris, and in Italy, and in Europe, in London, and so forth. So I've lived in different places. But when I lived in New York City, I was really into photography, and I'll never forget Central Park. Never forget. There was a picture of a woman, a nun, who was sitting reading her Bible. And at the very end of that bench, I still have that picture, I'll post it one day, there was a bum sleeping. And the picture was called The Bum and the Nun. It was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like 17 years old. I was like, I can't, she's fucking sitting there on the damn bench. There's a man right here who's homeless. But she was more interested in reading her, her words, instead of sitting next to him and talking to him and find out what happened to you. What's up? And I took the picture, and I lost the negative a long time ago, but I think I still have I'll have to look for it. But my point is, after I got off the phone with Mom, I'll call, but I'll text first. Good. Okay, good. So my point is that spiritualists, whether they follow a prescribed religion or not, can be toxic in their ignorance, in ignoring the obvious, right in front of their nose. And be careful with that, because every single thing affects us. There's a famous, there's a very good movie, and there's a famous scene where Spock and, Kirk, what was it? It was Star Trek. It was set in the late 80s, early 90s. Listen to this. This is big. The whales, there was whales, the last whale had died on the planet in 3,000 years ago. Whatever, right? I'm just making it up. I forgot the timeline. But the Earth was dying because of the frequency of the whale was gone. And the planet was dying without that sound frequency. So they had to travel back into time to SeaWorld. It's kind of a funny yahaha thing. To find a male and female whale, which they transport back into time and drop it into the ocean of the future, and boom, the planet goes back into gear. Because they needed the frequency of the whale. Every single thing matters. Every single thing matters. If we don't have bees, we will not survive. If we don't have the sun, we will not survive. It's that simple. You can kumbaya, cross your legs, and meditate and chant mantras until the cows come home. But if your mind is clogged and you're putting your head in the sand, then you've lost the point of this journey as starseeds. Every single thing matters. Everything. And so some of us are the environmentalist warriors. Some of us are human rights activists. Some of us, but all of us, are fully conscious of what's happening. They're still selling Roundup at Home Goods. I mean, not Home Goods, Home Depot. Still there in the summer, right there, boom. Jars and jars of it. Knowing, by the way, it's against the law in Europe. Knowing killed bees. You guys probably don't remember this, but there was a summer when the Rhine River, millions of bees died in like a week along the coast of the Rhine River. And once they put it together, what had caused the unaliving of bees, since we want to use that word, we're forced to use a word that has absolutely no meaning to it. That was it. Cut. Done. Basta. So we have to be advocates of the planet, and in our own way, but denying what's happening isn't going to get us out of it. Seeing it, it's like denying having cancer. Let's put it that way. You have to know you have cancer. You have to know where it is, and then you can meditate and start dissolving the tumor. But if you don't know what's wrong with you, right, then you don't have a shot in hell. But if you know what's wrong with you and you want to live and you want to thrive, then you can actually sit there and start meditating it out. It's in the book Becoming Supernatural with Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's talked about his own massive injury that should have put him in a wheelchair. Dr. Weil talks about how breathing helps with I'll tell you an amazing story, and then I'm going to get off. I'll never forget this story of this woman who kept breathing, doing breathing exercises because she had breast cancer. And she kept just doing it and doing it and doing it. She went into surgery to have the mastectomy. She never actually trusted what she had done because she never had them redo an x-ray or whatever, a film. She never said, listen, before we do the surgery, could you check it one more time? She didn't do that because she didn't trust she had the power. When they removed it, there was nothing there. It was gone. It was absolute. They removed a perfectly healthy breast. Wow. That's what I mean by gaslighting ourselves. It's like we think that because we can't see it, because we can't measure it in some 3D visual way, that what we're doing has no meaning, that it has no impact. And so when we do these, like for example on April 8th, if you do this meditation with yourself and you visualize and you are during the eclipse, again, look up Red Heifer, April 8th, 2024. And you see that we're countering something very wrong, very wrong. Just go down that rabbit hole. I went down that rabbit hole yesterday. It fucking blew my mind. I called my friend Andromeda Phelim. I'm saying, we talked about it. We both decided, oh shit, okay. We got to do a massive meditation. And because we have to escort. We're giving free will for a reason. One is to be apathetic and to honestly not believe we have the power to do massive movements of change and transformation because it feels impossible. But if that story doesn't blow your mind of literally she had nothing wrong with her flesh, it was clean as a whistle, I think it's tragic. And I hope she got the lesson. What's the lesson? I should have trusted myself. Why didn't I honor my power? Right? So I'm going to leave you with that. I'll be back at 3 Pacific Standard Time. And I'm a new beekeeper. Yeah, I'm it gives me chills. No shit. Crazy you mentioned that because have you seen the whales washing? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have watched the whales washing up. And that story, that movie, I watched it only once, but I'll never forget. It was about the frequency. The frequency was gone. And the planet could not survive without the frequency. My personal theory about the crop circles isn't crafts landing on it at all. It's the frequency. It's kind of like when you put sand on a table and then you put the frequencies down underneath it and it creates sacred geometries, right? Different geometric shape. That's what planet Earth is doing with crop circles, in particular in the UK, right? 75% of the crop circles come out of the UK because it is the heart chakra of the planet. I don't know if you guys know that. In particular in the UK, right? 75% of the crop circles come out of the UK because it is the heart chakra of the planet. I don't know if you guys know that. Heartbeat. Okay? And so we have to really start paying attention and we have to understand our power to manifest magic. Yes, magic into the new earth. If we don't believe in our power, then what the fuck is the free will for? It's worthless. It's worthless. You might as well sit on your hands and wait until the whole thing collapses like a house of cards. And so we are at the crossroads. We are really at a crossroad moment of making a decisive decision to saying, fuck off to this old system of powers. And they have exposed themselves to such levels. David Icke, say whatever you want about his lizard people, because that was the one thing that probably kept him from being unalivened, just on a side note. But his lizard people, okay. The rest of the shit has come true. So I want you to know that we're here. We're going through the birth canal. It's not comfortable. It feels very dark, scary. You're unsure. Don't be scared. Do not be scared. Don't be scared. Be in your power. You got to gulp in your oxygen and marshal your forces. Call on your archangels. Call on your light team. You got fucking hundreds of people, light beings around you. Believe me, that if you just saw it with your eyes, you'd believe it. But could you feel them? Can you feel them? I'm sure you can if you make an effort to sit with them. Sit with them. Make a habit of it. Okay. So we are going to, I'm going to buzz off right now, and I will upload this live. Absolutely. Thank you. I like listening to you. Thank you. That's very kind. Hi, everyone. Hi, Maya. So amazing to meet you. Oh, thank you, Catnip. Very cool. So think about what I said. So share the live. I'm going to upload it on the YouTube. It's Sacred Intimacy Tarot. It's on my profile page. No, I'm not going to hit you up for a reading. Somebody else got hustled again. Thank God they didn't believe that person. But there are like 5 accounts that are like you think I had 200,000 bloody followers, for Christ's sakes. But anyway, there are people who are posing as me, hitting you up. Please be careful. I will never, ever hit you up for a reading. If you want a reading with me, it's $108 for an hour. If you want an Akashic reading with me, it's $162. If you want a hypnotherapy session with me for past life regression, it's $225. In other words, you come to me and you ask me. By the way, on a side note, I'm a projector. I can't come to you, by the way. That's not how I'm wired as a projector. Human design. I'm a projector. I wait. I say my truth and I wait. I will never hit you up for any type of reading. So I love you all. I really do, actually, because you're my lost tribe people. So we're just trying to come home together. We're trying to build a beautiful earth for our ancestors from this life, past lives, and future incarnations. And yeah, we're all coming back when it's 5D. You're damn right. You would have earned that ticket, that golden and Willy Wonka ticket. Okay, let's make it happen. I'll see you at 3. Namaste. Be